here, now I'm awoken. Just this morning, a side of me open that I never noticed. We are the future, ride for the culture. Put my dirty clothes on the lines of a notebook. Never hide from exposure, show you nobody is unbroken.
Remember my name. You see my face every breath that you take. Just when you think I was torn down in flames, I'm born again. All of my dark days are gone. You will remember. Yeah, you will remember. Yeah, you will remember. You will remember. Yeah.
I'm unstoppable. Came too far to be barred by an obstacle. That's not an optional. What they call hard is like riding a bicycle. I'm phenomenal. Feeling like I could do what a mythological guy could do. Power is optimal. It's my time to make impossible and impossible.
Remember my name. You see my face every breath that you take. Just when you think I was torn down in flames, I'm born again. All of my dark days are gone. You will remember. You will remember. Yeah, you will remember. You will remember. Yeah. I'm born again. I'm born again. All of my dark days are gone. Remember my name. You see my face every breath that you take. Just when you think I was torn down in flames, I'm born again. All of my dark days are gone. You will remember. You will remember. Yeah, you will remember.
Tonight on Countdown to Green, we look back at all the action from Daytona. The crew breaks down splits, points, and drops. And we bring you up to date on all the latest storylines. All of that and more, coming up on Countdown to Green.
Hello, everybody, and welcome from virtual Las Vegas. This is the Countdown to Green, getting you set for round 2 of the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing qualifying series. Already round 2. Last week, a phenomenal round 1 with all the participation we have. Happy to be back. I'm your host for tonight, the Countdown to Green, Alan Cavana. Happy to be joined once again by 2 of the best in the business. First of all, coming off a top 10 in real life at Daytona and in ARCA car, Ryan Vargas, and the man behind the microphone, James Pike. How you fellas doing?
Man, I am so excited. I mean, obviously, Daytona was a thrill both in the sim and in real life, but man, I'm ready to watch these racers duke it out for a chance to make the top level of sim racing and here on iRacing.
It was neat to see Ryan get his top 10. Tonight we're going to see who scraps for a top 10 at Las Vegas. This is a track that is sort of the litmus test to mile and a half. And given how much we're going to see mile and a half appear in the championship schedule and how little there is to separate a lot of these fields, if you're good, if you've got a shot at the Coke Series, I think we're going to start seeing some of those drivers make a name for themselves tonight.
Yeah, looking forward to it, especially already being in round 2, knowing how important it is to be in that top 30. But first of all, if you're not on the sim, I hope you're playing on your console somewhere, guys.
Oh, yeah, no, and I mean, what else can I say about NASCAR 25? This is NASCAR's officially licensed video game with an all-new in-depth career mode featuring Dale Jr., Dirty Mo Media. I've seen a lot of the cutscenes. It's awesome. Features all 4 of the NASCAR Touring Series, Cup, O'Reilly, Truck, ARCA, detailed driver ratings for over 200-plus NASCAR drivers, laser-scanned racetracks for 30-plus tracks, 40-player online multiplayer, and also in-depth car, driver, and team customization. That's one thing that I've seen a lot of people talk about online, so super excited about that. And the car handling characteristics. Whether you're a total novice, just wanting to pick up the game for fun, or you're a sim racing pro, there's an option for you. There's systems for you. Make sure you get this game now because it's for sale right now on Xbox Store, PlayStation Store, and the Steam Store.
So much fun that you can have on NASCAR 25. I have a new respect for Lime Rock Park, but we also have the eNASCAR College iRacing Series coming your way tomorrow night. The semifinals and the finals of the Great Lakes Gauntlet at Michigan International Speedway coming your way 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Countdown to Green 645, eNASCAR.com/live. Connor Yarashak, not surprisingly, the points leader, was pretty strong in week 1, but he's got plenty of people that he's going to need to hold off. Logan Clampett is in the mix. Daniel Falkingham is in the mix. Daniel Nanny is in the mix. And more, you're going to see all of them go after it and try and pick up $3,000 in scholarship money by conquering the Irish Hills of Michigan.
So much good racing going on right now. College series everywhere, every night of the week here on the service. Let's go back, though, to last week. Round 1 of the qualifying series. It all started last week in Daytona. All the splits, the top split, some of the best racing we saw, guys. Garrett Main starting things off, and it was all about scoring as many points as you could, as early as you can in this qualifying series.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we saw, 37 splits? But obviously, we took a look at the top 2 splits, and we saw veterans of the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. As you see, oh my goodness, Garrett Lowe almost gets tipped over right there in the middle of the pack. The big one gets set off, but we had a relatively calm couple races despite this wreck. We had this wreck, and then right here, getting to pit road, though, chaos getting onto there. That was where most of the craziness happened there, James.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of craziness on pit road entry, especially in the top splits. We didn't really have too many incidents to separate the field, but when they came through and nobody had moments, Rocky Boy got spun there on pit road, a few incidents in the top splits, but at the end of it all, big time wins for a lot of people in their respective splits. And here's the thing, you can't win your way into the Coke Series with a win at Daytona, but to start off on the right foot, that really, really can help.
Absolutely. And we take a look at the point standings here. You have Daniel Falkingham at the top of the charts, 121 points above that cut line. That's amazing. Then you look at Wyatt Gray, their split 2 winner. He's in 4th. So remember, even if you're not in that top split, if you have a good run in those 2nd, 3rd, 4th, even 5th splits, that's where you're going to see it. Daniel Nanny, he's the winner of split 3. He's at the top. He's at the top there with being in P9, 59 points above the cut there. I mean, guys, that's pretty crazy to see how much of these drivers, and also you see right there some of the other names, Quentin Warman, some of those other guys getting in here. Now, this is where the cutoff starts. Eddie Kerner, 4 points above the cutoff there. Then you have Hayden Swank right up there. He was your split 5 driver. So that's one of the crazy things here is you look at these splits and how mixed up it gets once you get to this midsection here. So I'm going to be really interested to be paying attention to which drivers kind of make their way up the lineups, make their way up the standings in the lower splits, beyond split 2.
Yeah, and this top series and the top 30 and how far and close you are to it is so important, James, because of this new format this year and how we are determining ultimately the Coke Championship Series.
A little bit of a tweak to the format this year. So we have qualifying for the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series that started off at Daytona last week. It'll run just about weekly to April 28th every Tuesday night. Then free agency takes place over a wild and crazy and fun 48-hour period from May 11th to the 13th. And then May 19th to October 13th, it's the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series Championship Series. Within the qualifying series, you get 4 races in the truck, 4 races in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series car, and then 3 races with the vehicles used in the NASCAR Cup Series. We've got plenty of splits, everybody separated by iRating like we talked about last week. The big thing to focus on this week, though, you get 1 drop round out of those 11. So if you compete in all 11 races, we take the top 10 finishes that you have. If you only compete in 10, we take your 10 whatever. If you compete in 9, you'll get a 0 for that last 10th race. So you want to try and be there. And the most important thing, I think, with all this, being there, more important than just trying to get a good finish. If you run every week, that can be sometimes more useful. When we get to free agency, it's the top 20 drivers and points from last season's Coke Series, the top 30 drivers from all that, and then drivers from the College Series, and a new point system as well to shake things up when we get to the Championship Series later this year.
Yeah, and I know it's a lot to take in, but it just means more racing, more drivers, more people trying to pursue that dream of getting to the Championship Series, and it all comes down to the schedule. We're already in round 2. You see it there. Daytona, Las Vegas tonight. The first 4 races in the Craftsman truck. Then the next round of 4 in the O'Reilly Auto Parts car, Homestead, Auto Club, Darlington, Bristol, and the last 3 races to help qualify and determine who could be in the Coke Championship Series are in the Cup car, going back to Chicagoland, the high speed of Michigan International Speedway, and the 1.5 mile kind of odd track that is Texas Motor Speedway. Tonight, though, it's the truck, James. How do you explain a truck at Las Vegas? A lot of drag, a lot of good racing.
A lot of drag and a lot of momentum and a lot of need to try and keep your foot to the floor as much as you possibly can. This is a very momentum-based sort of track for these trucks in the NASCAR Craftsman Trucks Series. In real life, they run an Ilmore V8 that produces in excess of 650 horsepower, 4-speed manual transmission on these trucks, weighing in just over 3,400 pounds, and some pretty good high-powered Goodyear Eagles, as is the case with truck races. But Ryan, this is such a momentum-based track. I don't think we can talk about that enough, especially when we look at tonight's Logitech G track analysis.
Absolutely. We're heading to Las Vegas, Sin City, and these drivers are ready to test their luck on this 1.5 mile long, 20-degree bank turns here. This is one of my favorite racetracks on the schedule because you talked about it, James. Lots of side-by-side racing, lots of momentum needed. This place opened in 1996 with a different layout, a little bit flatter. It's been recently redone, and by recently, I mean probably, 15 years ago?
2007, baby.
There you go, 2007. Previous qualifying series winner, Justin Smith.
Good stuff there, because the trucks put on a show in real life here in the iRacing Coca-Cola Series. It's going to be a great race tonight, and that's because we keep telling you about this new format. Let's give you some numbers and some ideas of how big this got last week. Guys, there were 1,302 drivers last week trying to do their best and qualify for the Championship Series. That was 37 splits, 37 concurrent races going on last week. The top split, the strength of that field, had an iRating of more than 800. The bottom split of more than 8,000. I apologize. The bottom split was 776. What's that tell you? It doesn't matter your iRating, your score, your ability. You at least can try, right? You have the ability to try and get in and be a part of this championship series. More than 1,300 drivers were trying that. We'll see how many we get tonight. Should be a huge field. Averaged about 5 cautions per race. 3 of the splits had 0 cautions last week at Daytona, which is just crazy to think about. And in total, guys, last week at Daytona, 1,300 drivers, 37 races. There were 582 lead changes. Everybody trying to get their piece of that championship series, Ryan.
Well, and you talk about everybody trying to get a slice of the pie here, right? But you look at all the split winners that we had. We had so many different drivers. You talk about Daniel Falkingham being the winner of Split 1, Wyatt Gray, the winner of Split 2, but look at the list of drivers that we have here. Split 5 winner, Aiden Berlin. He's one of our World of Outlaws professionals, from what I understand. He's one of those guys that's up there. Daniel Nanny, he's one of our college series drivers. So big shout out to him. Brian Martin, he's a streamer. He's a streamer doing this stuff. He threw his hat into the ring to try and get after it. Bradley James, split 17. Lots of craziness going on here. Ryan Bailey, split 24. Terry Murphy, split 26, and all the way down in bottom split, KJ Thompson. Also throwing his hat in there. He's a winner, dang it, and that's what matters.
He is a big winner. Now, for those of you who had an eagle eye, you might have noticed a big name in Split 4 who got the job done. And yes, that is NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series driver Raja Karuth, who won the 4th split of last week's set of races at Daytona. Now, not only did he win that split, but he also was streaming his point of view for his split. So check out this clip of how he got the job done at the World Center of Racing.
Outside. I didn't want to hang him, but I had to.
Orange.
I saw the bottom coming.
Still up there.
Yay.
Clear high.
I won!
Inside.
Hey, let's go, bro. Thank you.
You are the leader.
It ain't over till it's over. Hey.
Man, and it is so exciting to see Raja get the win there. But,
I love it.
But look, there's so many notable names who are also out here fighting. We talked about Daniel Falkingham, the winner of split number 1, 121 points above 31st. That sounds like a lot, but that could all disappear with one bad race. And we talk about that. 8th in split 1, they're between 1st to 8th. He's 33 above 30th. That's not a lot. Then we look at some of these other guys coming out through the ranks. Garrett Lowe, one of our Coke Series drivers from last season, dropping down 11th in split 1, just outside the top 10. He's below the cut. That is mind-boggling to me, but that is because we have so many drivers. The GOAT, Ray Alfala, 13th in split 1, 34 below the cut line, 51st in points. I mean, gee whiz, that's pretty crazy. Blake McCandless, another one of those drivers who dropped down, is having to qualify his way back in. 26th in split 1, 198 below 30th. That goes to show that even if you're in the top split, if you have a bad day, it doesn't count. It doesn't matter. Michael Cozy Jr., 3rd in split 2. He's above the cut. 57 points above that, and 8th. So you look at all the intricacies here. Jackson Anderson, 13th in split number 2, and he's one of our college series drivers from Oklahoma State University. He's 58 points below the cut, but you know what? There's always a chance there. Dylan Basin, he won the Queen City Crown in the eNASCAR College Series there. 197 points below the cut. A lot of ground to make up, but nothing he can't overcome. Carson Bowers, 27th in split 2, 220 below the 30th. But you know what? There's always time to make your way back up, and there's a lot of time to make it happen.
Yeah, let's not forget, everybody gets a drop. Maybe you have to use that from Daytona. We keep talking about opportunity. Everybody's got an opportunity to qualify for the big show. James, what kind of opportunity does Las Vegas present tonight?
Las Vegas presents an opportunity for you to use multiple lanes to the racetrack to gain spots on restarts, and then it's about maintaining good green flag run pace. I think over a 20 to 30 lap run, if you're going to be in the hunt, you need to maintain consistent speed.
Ryan, what do you think about this track? And you've been on it before.
Man, this track is obviously one of my favorites. So many lanes to choose from, so many ways to attack it. But at the end of the day, as long as you cross that start-finish line in first or at the front of the grid, you're going to set yourself up pretty nicely in the points.
Week 1 gave us 1,300 drivers trying to compete. What will Week 2 bring here in the qualifying series? We're about to find out. Racing from Las Vegas. When we come back, this has been the Countdown to Green. We'll go green right after the break.
Racing isn't just a game. It's a way of life. Every lap, every moment. Practice is about consistency. Winning doesn't come easy.
Yo!
My turn, Bubba.
Feel the road. Own the race. Logitech G wheels and pedals available now on Amazon.
Welcome to Sunday at Full Throttle. Oranges don't whisper. They roar.
This is where you remember what it's like to feel something.
Heart racing with your people.
Screaming your damn lungs out.
Let's go! So America, start your engines!
Alongside the best of the best, because Ray Alcala no longer stands alone as the only multi-time champ. Wilson is the 25 eNASCAR champion.
Hey, they tried to drag me down, but look who's laughing now. Look who's laughing now. I believe in something that I can't explain. The wind is calling out my name. Let it rain on me. You know I put in the hours, and I'm not gonna wait in line. I'm gonna take what's mine for the world to see. You gotta take the lead. You gotta feel the fire. So I see, and I still believe. Take the lead, take the lead, take the lead.
Live from iRacing's virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway, we say good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to week 2 of the 2026 eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing qualifying series. Well, the road to $500,000 marches into week number 2 from the Silver State and the entertainment capital of the world. We're happy that you're with us, as always, on the iRacing Esports Network with myself, Evan Pisoko, joined by Ryan Vargas and Alan Cavana. Alan, you flipped your lights red. That means it's go time. Daytona is always a staple to open the season, but some may argue the real battle starts here. First intermediate racetrack of the season, and for how diverse these schedules have gotten, it is still the crux of what you need to be successful at in order to be good at eNASCAR. 5 of the 11 races in this qualifying series on tracks just like this.
If you want to be good, you got to be good at these cookie cutters. Last week, something of a dice roll. I know this is Vegas, but it could come down to strategy, tires, how well you do on a fast oval track like Las Vegas. You got to be good if you want to get to that Ultimate Championship Series, Ryan.
Yeah, and you talk about being good, but it doesn't just matter if you're in the top split or second split. As long as you maximize your points, have clean days, take that top 5. We're points racing here, and that's what's going to matter, is maximizing your performance.
There were over 1,300 drivers that participated in Week 1 in Daytona. That number will trickle down just a bit, but a lot of drivers hungry over the course of what are now 10 weeks left to go in this. Let's take a look one more time at the new format for this qualifying series and explain how these 11 rounds, Ryan, will eventually lead to that Coke Series Championship Series.
Absolutely. So you mentioned it. These 11 rounds here consist of the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing qualifying series. The first 4, we're going to be running the Craftsman Trucks series. The next 4, the O'Reilly Auto Parts series. And we're going to finish it off with the big dogs, the Cup series cars. Sorry. You do get one drop round. It's your one mulligan. That's it. So you got to make sure that you maximize all your races. So even if that one drop is a bad race, you don't want that bad race to be too bad. Multiple races are happening at once. Remember, this is a official race. There's multiple splits happening, and Alan, there's a lot of races here to look at.
Absolutely. That's why that drop is so important. But there's the schedule. Daytona, Vegas, Rockingham, Phoenix, all in the truck, including tonight. Then you move over to the O'Reilly Auto Parts cars. Test your skills at Homestead Auto Club, Darlington, Bristol in the final 3 races. In the Cup car, Chicagoland Speedway, the return, the high speeds of Michigan, and one of those cookie cutter type mile and a half. You end it all at Texas. Could be your final shot at getting to the championship series and a shot at all that money.
Also worth noting, Michigan, Texas, 2 of the races in the Cup cars this year. Those are also 2 of the final 4 races in the championship series. Maybe, just maybe, a little bit of a preview of what we can expect to see a little bit later on this year when we go racing with $100,000 on the line to our eventual series champion. But first, you got to get there. And while 22 drivers have already qualified into the championship series through their finishing positions last year, plus the college series, you got a lot more drivers fighting for free agency. The next step starts now. Let's take a look at your Coca-Cola starting grid, and Sebastian Marin is on pole position with a 29.987. He'll bring us to the green flag ahead of P2 starter, the number 23 of Matt Busa. Now, Matthew Boniface will start in 3rd place tonight ahead of Sean Conklin in 4th. They'll make up row number 2, and Garrett Maines, a familiar face, will round out your top 5. Then it's top split Daytona winner Daniel Falkenham in the number 6 spot. He's ahead of Michael Venable in 7th. Kenny Brady rolls from position number 8 ahead of Andrew Navarro 9th, and John Forbes Jr. to round out row 5.
Quentin Mormon, Coke Series former driver, starts in 11th, right next to Matthew Batby. Jacob Wilkinson in 13th, followed by the GOAT, Ray Alfala, trying to get back into the Coke Series. Coke Series veteran Brian Mercurio starts 15th. Eugene Mozganov starts right next to Eddie Kerner. Michael Fritsch, Larry Pace, and Blake Reynolds rounds out the top 20.
It brings you halfway home. Graham Bolin, a driver who's found a ton of success at the top level, starts 21st ahead of Rocky Boyd III and 22nd. Kevin Champagne and Matthew Morton will make up the next row through 24th. Michael Cozy Jr., one of our Coca-Cola feature drivers, starts 25th with Adam Garza in 26th. Garrett Lowe, 27th on the grid tonight. Christopher Pfeffer ends up in 28th. And then back on row 15, it'll be Blake McCandless and Caden Diedrich.
In 31st, Tyler Gary, followed by Wyatt Tinsley, a former winner in the Coke Series, trying to make his way back in. Cody Johnson, Justin Smith, Octavio Rondoletto, and Cody Bias, the Coke Series veteran, rounds out the race in 36th place tonight at the back of the field.
So look top to bottom at your Coca-Cola starting grid. Alan, I'll go back to you on this one as we take a look at tonight's Coca-Cola race analysis.
Yeah, the race analysis here is 100 laps tonight around the oval that is Las Vegas, 150 miles. Pit road speed. We saw pit road be an issue last week at Daytona, 50 miles an hour. 3 sets of available tires tonight. You can probably do it on 2. You want that last one if there's a late caution, with the estimated pit window being over half the race, 54 to 59 laps. Fuel should play much of an issue. Tires might tonight. Could be a strategy race. Those are always fun at the end.
It's a sunny afternoon here virtually in Las Vegas. I'm happy that you're with us. We'll feature top split coverage all night long. We'll also be checking in with split number 3 intermittently, as there are hundreds of drivers right now ready to take the green flag for round number 2. Pace car will yield to pit road. The field in the hands of Sebastian Marin as we say, let's go racing in Vegas. Marin the advantage. He gets clear for the race lead. Big draft off of turn number 2. Looking to the inside for third. Garrett Maines tried to get under Boniface. Couldn't get there. And now a push to the inside. They'll go side by side for the race lead.
This is something we don't see in every series, but with the trucks, the way they're set up, with the drag, you can see that they are staying 2 by 2. It looks like one of those Daytona races you saw last week or at the Daytona 500. It'll thin out here a little bit, but this is the type of racing Las Vegas produces, especially in the truck.
And I'm just kind of shocked by Matt Busa here. He was just kind of left sleeping there at the start. Didn't get the push from behind, didn't get the launch he needed, and now he's pinned on the bottom, getting high-sided by last week's winner, Daniel Falkingham, and eventually Kenny Brady. I mean, that's going to be one of the big things here, guys, is that momentum in that second lane, but you also got to keep that right front tire underneath you.
Kenny Brady, a driver who picked up a couple of spots, a little bit behind them. Quinton Warman also a handful of positions gained. In the end, it is your pole sitter Marin who leads after the opening 2 laps of this race. As you can see throughout the field, plenty of side-by-side action. Call it the top 25 cars or so, separated by only 2 seconds. 3 cars kind of on the bottom right here. Lead driver on the bottom, that is Boniface in the 26. Behind him, it's the aforementioned Matt Busa. And here's the perspective of Daytona winner Daniel Falkingham, 4th in line up top, as he'll get a great view of Sean Conklin. 3 wide through the middle into turn 1.
This is a beautiful racetrack for this. On these new tires, early in a race, yes, there's something of a draft, but there's multiple grooves at this racetrack. You're seeing 3 wide. The top seems to be dominating so far, but Daniel Falkingham, another strong start after his win, trying to pad that point lead.
And we see Garrett Maines right there trying to make a look to the outside. He's one of those drivers, we know he's going to be aggressive. As you see right there, he's kind of peeking to the top side off of turn number 4. Is he going to try and get there? No, he's going to try and look to the inside, and now he's going to shuffle right in. That's going to be the big thing, keeping everything underneath you and being smart and timing your runs.
Brady almost got a bit of the wall there coming out of the tri-oval on the outside. That's the 4th truck in line, number 54 Toyota. Up top, it seems, as we start to get our land legs under us, the outside, maybe by a little margin, the preferential place to be. We saw on the bottom that number 2 is Sean Conklin to make the move 3 wide. Once he went down low, started losing some time. Meanwhile, in split number 3, we're cleaning green up here. Split number 3, though, some trouble in the opening laps in their race. We'll take a second look at what's going on there in just a minute. But up front in split number 1, so far it has been all Sebastian Marin in control at the moment, but Garrett Maines not making life easy. That truck continuing to look around. Your replay for split 3 on the bottom. It's 3 wide off of turn 4.
Oh man, looks like a lot of trucks trying to vie for the same spot there. 3 wide racing, just misjudge it really. It's so easy to lose track of where you're at, especially coming off of turn number 4. It narrows up pretty quick there.
New leader here in split 1. Garrett Maines has taken the lead over Sebastian Marin and gotten out to a little bit of a lead. Look, we've seen Garrett Maines with a lot of speed. We know his history in the Coke Series and the Championship Series, having to race his way back in, coming so close to qualifying already, but now going through the qualifying series. Here he is leading in round 2 at Las Vegas.
Gosh, and we talked about him at the start, getting a bad jump. Matt Busa started outside front row. He has dropped several positions. He's all the way down to 9th right there, looking to fall out of the top 10. So I don't know, maybe he's just not really getting the handle of his truck here early, but right now we're seeing Ray Alfalla taking it to the top side. The GOAT trying to make it happen here. And he hit
time up top, yeah, knocked the fence down that time. Wow. 4, that was a pretty good lick. The safer barrier on the exit of the corner. Didn't lose a ton of speed, but stays in line up top. Ray has had the opposite start to the Matt Busa beginning that you've mentioned. Busa down 7 spots, Alfalla up 7. Here's the onboard perspective for the 4-time Championship Series champ. Working the outside lane, he's going to get up in line behind the 54. That's Kenny Brady, the next man up, and Alfalla has had some pockets to work through the field. These leaders are still pretty compressed together. Will the 2 force the issue? Look at the single file behind. That gave him the space to be able to work his way up. What does he do know now that the track's basically blocked in front of him with 2 wide, a couple of rows deep?
Alfalla's story is so interesting. We know the GOAT of this series, trying to make his way back in, though, to the championship series as we take a look at a Michael Cozy Jr. and how he's running a little deeper in the field. It's interesting to see how they're running in traffic. You can see now with a few laps in, now with the tires maybe wearing a little more than obviously they were when the green flag dropped. They're getting more of the single file racing. And what can you do back there, especially in the pack? Things are a little bit more turbulent back there. They're racing better currently up front. We still have 2x2 going for the win.
Well, you talk about Michael Cozy Jr. He's one of those drivers that was in Split 2 last week. So by virtue of a good run there, he has now progressed his way up into the top split this week. So performance in those lower splits, Split 3, Split 2, good performances there is going to be what gets you up into this top split.
And we talked about it when we looked at the series points, right? Split 4 winner, Raja Karuth, 14th in points coming into this race. Split 3 winner, Daniel Manny, 9th. Split 2 winner, Wyatt Gray, 4th. So there are those other splits going on, and it is a smaller margin for error. You have to be in a top finisher in Split 1. You got to be top 10, basically, if you want to be scoring top 20 points. That gets tighter and tighter as you go down the splits, but those top 5 splits or so still consequential with plenty of opportunities if you want to make it into the top finishing positions and to be eligible to head into free agency a little bit later on as we head into the summer months. Still clean and green here in top split. Garrett Maines has settled into his role as the race leader. He's led the last 7 laps consecutively after Sebastian Barron led the opening 5. Bottom of your screen, we're looking at the first restart of the afternoon in split number 3.
Man, as a race fan, this is so awesome. Being able to watch multiple races happening at once, all the chaos of both splits, right? You see side-by-side racing in top split, and then in third split, absolute insanity going on back there as you see tight racing on these restarts.
And that caution in the third split on the bottom there, it was early, but we have to start thinking as these laps go down, with 3 sets of tires available, they will become valuable. And you're just, strategy-wise, number-wise, you're going to see the value in getting one of those 3 sets. You want to save one for the end. But if we go a little further, the caution flag comes out for any of these races going on, the temptation to come down pit road and get that first set of tires is going to be there.
And change for the race lead in split number 1, Sean Conklin, the instigator in some 3 wide earlier today, who on the bottom side took the top spot. How long is it going to last, though? Because here comes Ray Alfalla, the Coca-Cola Chevrolet, through on the bottom, and it's another new race leader, 4th different driver to lead a lap so far tonight in split 1, as Alfalla gets his first lap led. Bottom of your screen, 3 wide down there in split number 3. It's exactly what we saw a couple of laps off of the restart for us in the top split. So third split drivers being very aggressive. One of the drivers in that white Chevy truck all the way up to the very outside lane, doing everything they can to make use of a wide and sporty Las Vegas Motor Speedway as we jump back in live here with split number 1.
Ryan, we know how much things change. We know how difficult all of this stuff can be. Yet Ray Alfalla jumps back into the Coke Series, the qualifying series albeit, and he's already at the front of the field. Does that impress you as a driver?
It impresses the heck out of me because think about how long he's been on the service. Think about all the updates, the different tire models, aero models, everything that he's had to adapt to. And now he's coming out here. Everyone's thinking, man, does he still got it? Does he still got it? He said, man, I needed to hear that. He's out here. He's leading the field. And we're watching right here on board with Michael P. Frisch, one of the Kansas City Pioneers drivers. He's sitting in 21st right now. On any other series, on any other night, that's a good night. But we saw that 11th in Split 1 last week wasn't enough to be in the top 30. So if you're Michael P. Frisch, you want to start working your way up to that top 10.
And his Pioneers teammate, Graham Bolin, not that far up the road either. Started 21st, is up to 16th position. So Bolin having a good start thus far, making some progress through the midfield. Again, you're looking for roughly a top 10, top 15 finish if you're in this top split. If you don't want your finishing position to be overshadowed and outscored by the very top point scorers in the next couple of splits below this. So yes, it's a field of 36. But anything midfield on back, not a lot of moral victories outside of consistency. And again, the one mulligan, the one single drop week that you get over the course of these 11 weeks. And it's a new format, a new year for the Coke Series. want to stay up to date with everything on the qualifying series as we work towards the Champ Series, you're going to go to iRacing.com/eNASCAR/qualifying. That's going to be your home to make sure you're in the loop with everything going on eNASCAR over the course of these next several weeks. Leaders haven't sizzled out at all, but they are, I will say, calmed down for the moment. Single file as Alfala enjoys it up front. We continue to watch the battle here in the midfield as they are 3 wide. That 48 machine of Boland's the one up on the outside, still trying to make that work, getting the big run as they come off of the variable banking.
You know, I'm looking at your leaderboard right here on the left side of your screen. Garrett Maines was one of those guys we're talking about as being the aggressor, trying to force it 3 wide, trying to make those crazy moves to get up there. Kenny Brady, another one. Garrett Maines just fell to 10th. He was one of those drivers who was up at the front, and now, just by virtue of probably pushing a little too hard, is now dropping out of the top 10. He's 11th now. He's dropped to 11th. So it's fascinating to see as this race progresses, the comers and goers.
Top 5 single file out for the moment in split number 1. Let's take a live look into split number 3, where Tyler Latterell's your race leader. Dylan Cardenas in the number 2 spot, and this here is the battle for 19th spot. Maverick Davis, Wesley Parker, and a whole host of friends about 2.5 seconds off of the race leaders doing battle in the midfield.
Yeah, you see Wesley down there trying to make the pass. Wesley's one of those guys, I've actually gotten to race with him a couple times in B-Fixed. He's one of those guys who likes to take advantage of a lot of guys' mistakes. So he's going to be one of those guys who just hangs out, is going to let it come to him, let the race come his way, and as the tires wear, that's where I'm going to see him move forward. Oh!
You can see a kiss of the wall there. Yeah, the more the laps go by, the more the field spreads out, and some of the grooves you can see. The kiss of the wall coming off turn 4, getting into the tri-oval. We're seeing the wear and how it's affecting, even just 17 laps in to this race, but you can see the difference in handling already on this racetrack.
And looking to back up front in this one, that's the number 19 machine of Cardenas with Cade McClenny, Barrett Polomus behind him, Jaden Hott, Max Brady, a couple of the trucks in this battle. All chasing down that 27 Latterell, who he and Dakota Long, kind of a 2-truck breakaway. They've got a few car lengths over the number 19 machine as Cade McClenny looking to the outside, going to make a run for 3rd as they head down the Nellis straightaway and back off into 3. This is also a newer scan of the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, not only an art update in recent years, but a fresh scan also. And when you get those new scans, the track surface obviously updates, so this is a rougher Las Vegas, like in the real world, than what drivers had been used to on the surface, call it over the course of the last decade or so. Back inside a top split, and look at this madness behind your race leader, Ray Alfala. I mean, that is the top 14 cars within 0.9 of a second of one another.
Great racing, 2x2. You're seeing the effect of the draft and what they can. They're spreading out. You can see they're trying the 3rd, 4th, maybe even 5th lanes as they come up and run down the backstretch of Las Vegas. Michael Venable, here the view for him, stuck on the bottom there, trying to do as much as he can going into turn 3. So much action in front of him, it just can't seem to close up on the field there.
And guys, my eyes are on Kenny Brady right here. He was up there at the front, dicing it up, fell back to around 10th. I wonder if he was just trying to get his tires back down to 10th. Maybe just trying to keep them underneath him, letting everybody go up there, make those 3 wide moves and burn their stuff up. And now you find him right now battling to break his way back into the top 5.
And there he is, big move to the inside. He'll go under the 2 of Sean Conklin. Can't hold it down. Huge slide. And a credit not only to Kenny Brady for trying to hang on, but everybody saw that coming. They all stepped up a lane. And I think we just got away with one there. So Brady aggressive. I mentioned the bumps not that long ago. They're the worst on the bottom. And again in 2. Way up the racetrack. That time under the door of Quinton Warman. So Kenny Brady using up the trucks all around him as he tries to make some forward progress.
Well, and you see right there the momentum that he lost as he makes contact. The 67, they're piling into each other. They somehow keep it straight. My goodness, what a save by Quinton Warman right there in that Hayek Chevrolet right there, keeping it straight. Lots of contact right there. Kenny Brady, we were giving him props for holding it on the bottom, and then right there, he just hip checks Quentin Mormon.
Yeah, big loser in that Graham Boland, guys. He lifted. He didn't get any damage, but he checked way up on the third lane and cost himself at least 6 or 7 spots. He's dropped weight back now, trying to find him 17, so he loses 7 spots in that exchange.
Las Vegas Motor Speedway backs up to an Air Force base. There are fighter jets in real life when you're watching Turn 4, guys, the danger zone, if you understand the reference, because that has been so active in this race, especially in the top split. As we're looking the same on the bottom of your screen in split number 3, active coming off of Turn 4.
So noticing some trends. Turn number 4, trucks into the outside wall. And as these runs get longer, the tires start to wear. Drivers on the bottom may be struggling more now than ever to hold it down there. Again, now it's Boniface in the 26 pushing up that time through. So you would think the longer in the run we go, these trucks would spread out. They're not getting the real estate. They're still on top of each other, but they are handling a lot worse. And that was a rough entry for Conklin. Kind of checked up that middle lane.
Yeah, and that's the things that you want to avoid, those checkups right there. We see how much the momentum dramatically affects the line. And right there, despite that, the draft, we talked about it in the pre-race. These guys are really working to try and stay full throttle. Quentin Mormon's going to shove it 3 wide on the top side. Is it going to stick? Yes, it will. Big run for him on the top side.
And look, with all the drivers that we have, it's the stories we get to tell about these drivers. Ray Alfalo, the GOAT, Sebastian Marin from Puerto Rico trying to get into the Coke Series. I was looking at the number 17, Eugene Mozganoff there from Kazakhstan.
Whoa.
He's been on the series. Look at the action there. But some of these guys have been on the series since 2008, just trying and clawing their way up the ladder. This is what this series can do, the qualifying series. That's what they're trying to do in the top split right now.
Seems to me like they're trying to wreck these trucks the way they're driving. Super aggressive stuff. Is in the blink of an eye, we're already 1/3 of the way through our 100-lap race distance here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So the time clicks off very quickly. And that is why you see these drivers going so aggressive. Now, Alfalo, we highlighted the big moves he made, right? Plus 13 positions. Maybe some clutching clutch and coast into turn number 3. As the leader, trying to conserve some fuel. We talked about it in our Coca-Cola race analysis that the fuel window is roughly half distance in this race. Ray feel like maybe he needs a little bit extra to get to that number or get a little bit more out of that number to limit how much time the truck has to spend on the pit lane if we continue to go green. That'll be something to monitor, and if he's doing it, you wonder if anybody else has picked up on that also. Again, the fuel window, 54 to 59, plenty to the good. Maybe Alfalo feels like he wants a little bit of insurance, though, to make sure those numbers are true.
What an interesting strategy. If you were watching over the weekend the Daytona 500 in the Cup Series, you saw similar things happening, right? Trying to save fuel to maybe help your time on pit road. If that's what Ray is doing, that's one of those GOAT moves to think about. You burn more fuel when you are the leader, and he has been dominating this race so far. We can't forget about the number of tires you also have available. If you want to split this thing into thirds, that would be perfect, right? But there's no stopping right now. You're not going to stop under green for tires. You'll have to do that for fuel. But if there were a caution, expect those tires would be quite valuable. There's 3 sets you have to your disposal.
And we ride on board here with Sebastian Marin, just staying in the tire tracks of Ray Alfalo. And one thing you'll notice right here, and one thing is, look how calm it is here, right? And then all the chaos behind. Everything 3 wide, looking 4 wide further back. Sebastian just has it all going on in his mirror. But the big thing for him is he's doing a really nice job, just playing it smart, being consistent. Right there, you watch him. You can see him reach up, turn off his engine. Right. I hope we could stay out here going into turn number 1. Hopefully he does it there. But you can see him literally physically reach up and click on his keyboard, the I button. He's going right here. He's going into the corner and off.
Wow.
That's so impressive, just to have the presence of mind to reach up there. That means he doesn't have it binded to his steering wheel, mind you. He's doing the extra effort to physically reach up and press the letter I on his keyboard.
Someone's got to be able to button map that, right? Someone's got to be able to make that easier for him. Alan, he's going with one hand into the corner with a guy right on his tail.
All the more impressive, and you can just tell Sebastian was just up on the wheel there. Everyone's got their kind of attitude when we see the camera. He is up on the wheel and locked in, lean forward. What a run right now. It's awesome.
But he looked calm. That was the best part.
Yeah.
He's up on the wheel, but he looks cozy. It looks like a Sunday drive. Whoa!
I feel like we keep getting away with a couple here, and I just wonder when we're not going to get so lucky. Here's Garrett Maines' perspective. Let's make a lane, 4 wide, trying it in the inside there. Not going to be able to squeeze it in. He'll settle for 3x3 as he files the line behind Kenny Brady, the driver through the chute.
Wow.
That's Tyler Gary in front of them. It's the Tua Conklin who's out of shape. 3x3 they go. Off into turns 1 and 2. Nearly 40 laps complete in top split from Las Vegas. And these drivers are racing like it's the last lap of this weekend's Daytona 500. All over the racetrack. Big swing to the bottom that time as Bolin tries to make a move. That bottom, though, continues to struggle and wash up.
Conklin in that 2-truck, he's a kart racer. This is a different world for him in real life. Here, he is just swinging it in every lane. We saw him way up high, swing it down to the middle lane, and now he's out there on the outside trying to ride the middle, doing very well in this top split run, running 6th right now in that 2-truck.
Guys, Garrett Maines, I'm looking at the timesheet right now. The fastest car of this front pack by over a 10th and a half. Garrett Maines went back, saved his tires, and is now charging through the field to the front.
I love it because last week, remember, not that he was okay, but he was able to settle for second, helping a teammate, helping some of his peers get to that win, and having a great points day. He can't do that the entire time, so I expect him to be aggressive tonight. He deserves a victory.
The good news for him is he's just ahead of really the nasty stuff, which is just outside of the top 10, and you jump back there to see it now. This is where they're really mixing it up. The 7 truck on the bottom is just ahead of it. That's John Forbes Jr., the number 41 that you look at there in the middle. That's going to be Brian Beccurio, who is up in a couple of spots. He's actually right back to where he started. Daniel Falkenham, on the other hand, guys, back here also, your Daytona winner, started in the number 6 spot. He is going the wrong direction. Is this tire conservation? Is he going to flip the switch and make up ground like we saw out of Kenny Brady? Or is it the opposite? Was he too aggressive early? And is he now paying the price? 4 wide in front of them as the 33 is up on the outside. The leader's trying to get through as Gary lost a ton of speed into the corner and checked him up.
Ryan, as we see the field spread out, not only through the field, but the different grooves, how much of that is potential tire wear and just the handling going away?
Well, we saw Falkingham up at the front racing really hard as we see some contact off of turn number 2 right there. That's some crazy stuff. But back to Falkingham, right? He's dropping. He's falling, and right there, well, as I say that, he kind of makes a bit of a lunge. Maybe I'm just wrong. But at the end of the day, I'm also looking at Matt Busa. Outside pole setter, he is 24th. That's not a strategy. That's a truck that's not handling right, and he's falling out of the top 20, now falling outside of the top 25. That is not where you want to be. That is definitely not anything strategic-wise.
Yeah, that makes him the second biggest loser in terms of positions lost in this race. The only driver who's lost more is Michael Venable. Started this race in 7th. He is in 35th and has dropped out and has completely lost touch with all of the drivers. There's a look at your plus minus. What jumps out? Alfala plus 13. Bolin plus 13. Tyler Gary, haven't talked a ton about him yet, but look at him and Blake McCandless just outside of the top 10. They've picked up spots into the teens and more.
Well, and we talked about Blake in the pre-race. He was in the top split, but he finished in the back half, and he finds himself hundreds of points out of the cut line. So now, by having a day like this, just getting into that top 10, these are the races where you just have to tough it out, get into that top 10, maybe settle for 8th, 9th, 10th, but that's going to be what gets you into the top series.
And we're approaching halfway. We saw the pit window in terms of fuel we thought was just after halfway. If you were one of those leaders like Alfala, is fuel an issue? Does that back you up a few laps? We heard them shutting off their ignitions, coasting in, clutching it into the corner. We are not far away from having to see some of these decisions play out and see what the strategy ultimately will be for winning this race.
Oh, big scare there. A bobble and a save on the outside. Like that might have been the 41 truck.
It was.
And again, just another moment where I feel like we've had a lot of 50-50 moments go our way, and eventually the math just is not going to play out. And maybe, does that influence your decision for pit strategy here? Do you want to come down to the pit lane and get your pit stop out of the way? Do you feel like if you're up front, can you get in and out of pit road without losing a lap? Or if you're further back, do you feel like you pit, you get stuck a lap down, then they bin it? Does that trap you? That's a lot of the mental kind of decisions that'll go into pitting at a super speedway, but the way the trucks are racing here in Vegas, maybe something that these drivers are considering as well, 2 laps away from halfway home.
And look, a lot of this will be a game of chicken. How far can you go on your tank of gas? The further you can go, the newer your tires will be on the back end. Think of it that way. And at the end of the race, you'll have better tires than a lot of the field. But how far can you push it if you are a driver like Ray Alfalo, who's been out front for so long, burning more fuel than anybody? The strategy here, we'll know in a few laps.
Closing in on halfway home in the second round of this eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing qualifying series. Want to remind you that coverage of tonight's race is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official fan refreshment of eNASCAR. By Logitech G, the official wheel and pedals of eNASCAR. And by the Sim Racing Expo. From the Green Hell to the Queen City, the world's largest sim racing expo is racing into Charlotte Memorial Day weekend 2026. Well, the driver radio channels just started lighting up with calls to pit road. So at 50 down and 50 to go, this time by right on the money. Who comes and who stays out? Alfala shallows to the inside, and your race leader is the first one down.
I'm genuinely kind of shocked to see that. For him saving fuel, I was anticipating him going a little longer, getting those fresher tires later so that he can hold on to them and spend less time on pit road waiting for fuel.
I was trying to provide a analysis of drivers who were going to be coming this time, and it was probably 20. I just could not get through all the names that were queuing up on the radio. Navarro's not one of them. He'll stay out and go to the race lead. Aaron Warman in a spinner in trouble. Caution comes out as it all fell apart. More trucks still piling into the accident, and some of your top runners, I believe, just entered a closed pit road and may have penalties. It's going to be a huge shuffle to the top running order.
We'll have to find out. Looks like Ray Alfalo, one of the smartest decisions he made was being the first on pit road, avoiding a lot of that chaos. 1 lap difference has changed the race for maybe half the field here.
We'll wait to wind it back and see what happened. But Kenny Brady in a conversation with somebody else on the radio. I know the 54 was the truck that I saw sideways first. And this is, a lot of similar challenges to getting on pit road at Daytona with the pack. But Daytona, you've got that whole apron, right? We saw him going 4 or 5 wide. It was still a challenge to do green flag pit stops in Daytona. But Vegas is different. You cannot really occupy more than 1 lane's worth of space. So under the caution, pit road is open for drivers who hadn't come in yet or some who bailed there and now. But Kenny Brady's coming to pit road, but that truck's in the middle of the racetrack.
Yeah, he wasn't going to make the corner.
Yeah, I don't know what
turn.
You can't commit to pit road in the middle lane, and that was just a product of it, right? It looked like he was almost reacting to those cars that pitted first. It looked like the cars on the inside lane committed to pitting, and then he second guessed him. Yeah, and he second guessed it, because that was a very strange one, because he was later to committing than everybody else as well.
He slowed down and didn't make the turn, and then he got run over from behind. So that is a tough road to hoe if you were behind him and not expecting to pit. We're going to get a second look here at what happened with the 54, but certainly it seemed like he was surprised the drivers behind him.
So they're single file. But as they get on the brakes, he kind of yields high. And the 7 assumes that you're pulling around him. You're not coming to pit lane. And I looked at the speeds. Kenny Brady, where he got hit in turn number 4, that's about 35 miles an hour slower than you would normally be in that spot. He was doing about 130. They were doing 165 in the same spot last time. So that's just such again, whatever caused it, if he second guessed it, or if the drivers in front of him just checked up earlier and he just kind of made a muscle memory move to avoid it, whatever happened, the car ends up in the middle of the racetrack doing 35 miles an hour slower. Absolutely nothing that 7 truck can do, and just plows right into him.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, Evan. If you're the 7 truck, you're just if you're the 7 truck, you're just expecting to follow him. You're expecting, oh, he's dipping out. He's going to go to the top side. But now, like, he's parking it in your lap, and you have nowhere to go.
Wonder caution flag in top split. Let's take a look at a replay in split number 3 and trouble off of 4.
Oh my goodness.
For the 56, a kick flip off of 4, and
Did he
then
ever
took
come
the
down?
safer barrier all the way across the stripe.
We'll never know. We'll never know.
Hey, Zane Smith called. He wanted his move back.
Legend
Wow.
says he may still be there to this day. So, see, that's what I thought was going to happen to us in this top split. I mean, we had a couple moments where I thought we were going to get trucks up in the air, and eventually it is the pit cycle that puts us under our first and only caution thus far, and all of a sudden, hit the reset button. Let's try this again. Now everybody should have the fuel necessary to go the scheduled distance to the end of this race. Now, Andrew Navarro cycles through to the race lead. You would think that Ray Alfala would have, but the way the cycle played out, not the case. Alfala pitted from the lead early. He's going to restart this race way back in the number 30 spot. It's Navarro and Johnson on row number 1, and just in sync with us, third split coming to it as well. Green flag back in the air. Great restart for Navarro.
You talk about a great restart. That is an insane restart for Andrew Navarro. He puts a big gap to those cars behind, but we talk about the draft. These first couple laps with fresh tires, these guys are going to reel him right back in. As you see it right there, all the momentum, a lot of pushing and shoving. Lots of chaos going on right there. As we look at the bottom there, third split, they're restarting with 49 laps to go. So they're a little bit behind us here.
Curious what lessons were learned now in both splits over the course of the runs. Top split had a full fuel length run. Third split has had 2 cautions, so they haven't gotten through a 50-lap sprint yet. And anybody who would have pitted in the third split shy of halfway, not likely able to make it to the end with ease. Remember, we saw drivers clutching and coasting only to get to the 50 number. One truck into the outside wall towards the back. Looks like they stay green for the time being.
Yeah, one thing to remember that these splits, they are official sessions, so a lot of these races, we have a spin in the top split here, into the inside wall.
Caution.
Caution out for Larry Pace. The 10 truck was scored in 15th spot, that time by the start-finish line, and nose first into the inside tires after something went wrong through the tri-oval. Only the 10 car involved, and after getting away with a lot of those moments in the first half of this race, we have another quick yellow.
And Navarro was able to hold on to that lead after getting a great jump. He's been on the right side of the caution, the right side of the strategy call. We talked to him before the season. He said he was really looking forward to this race, Vegas specifically. So it's fun to see him out there getting an opportunity to lead. Not only good at this, guys, he says he is an awesome NBA 2K player. So he's multi-talented, this guy.
Well, our friends in split number 3 also under the caution flag. So maybe we'll get 2 box action on replay, or we'll take a look at them one at a time. But both back under the yellow flag. This may solve the fuel challenges that we had just alluded to for the drivers in split 3, right? They pitted at about 54, 53 to go. A caution may give either everybody or some drivers at the back an opportunity to just come in, top off on fuel. Some drivers up front may elect to just save under the caution. So here you go. It's the 2 box of replays. Top split at the top of your screen. That's Pace in the center. 3 wide as they come through the tri-oval. And looks like the truck under him just came up the slightest bit. He noses into the inside wall. And in the same spot on the racetrack is it in split 3, almost.
Yeah, and top split, you saw there just coming up the track. And same thing right there. The middle car in that replay comes up as well. So the guys who bring out the yellow, they're not even the ones that caused it. They were the innocent bystanders.
It's very super speedway-esque that the driver who is near the start of it is not the one that is actually collected in the caution flag in the end. Back here with top split, a lot of drivers to pit road for service. Kenny Brady, John Forbes, Brian Beccario, Larry Pace, Graham Bolin, Adam Garza, all in for service. I'm still a little perplexed on Ray Alfalo because we talked about him coming down to the pit lane in the cycle. Thought maybe the time into the yellow was going to work great for Ray. In fact, it did not. Right? Was half expecting him to cycle through to the number 1 position, but with only that one trip down to the pit lane, he ended up back in the 30s, and that's, I think, to me, if we can get the green flag laps, is going to be one of the stories. The top split is, can Ray Alfalo work his way back to the front of the field? Well, if you're enjoying the on-track action here tonight and want to get on track yourself, never forget that NASCAR 25 is now available. From your couch to the track, it's NASCAR in your hands. Download it now on Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox. To learn more, go to NASCAR25.com. This qualifying series, Ryan, is very high-level sim racing. NASCAR 25, if you're new maybe to NASCAR console gaming at any level, a great opportunity to start.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the big things that NASCAR 25 has is very approachable car handling models, right? Like, you hit it right on the head. If you're a professional, if you're a sim racer, there's definitely settings in this game for you. But if you're just a regular fan who just wants to turn the game on and play on the couch and just, shut the brain off for a little while and make some circles, you could also do that.
Alan, it sounds like he's describing my driving level, I think, is what Ryan's trying to say.
Hey, you and me both, Junior. I just want to go out there and draft and win Daytona. I want to rip around the top wall like a Kansas. I want to have that feeling, and I'm not as good as the rest of this field. That's why I'm in awe of all these drivers that we have here in our series.
It'll be a lot of fun. It features all 4 of NASCAR's National Touring Series, so you can start in the ARCA cars. You could race through the NASCAR trucks, through the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and into the Cup Series. So a lot of fun with NASCAR's official video game, NASCAR 25, available now on all of your major gaming platforms. Is once again 2x2 restart. Split number 3 going to get back underway a little bit earlier than split number 1 at the top of your screen. They still run with about, call it 48 or so laps to go in split number 3. Top split, we're closed it in. Out 40 to go. Green flag in the air. A great restart for your split number 3 leader on the bottom. Let's see if Andrew Navarro could replicate that on the top side. He was shot out of a cannon the last time he hit the restart zone. He's done it again, and nothing that Daniel Falkenham can do but pull in line as we get back underway.
And that was brilliantly executed by Daniel Falkenham, right? You already lost the spot. Might as well just get in line and get a little bit of that draft. He's going to close up to the rear bumper of Navarro. Will he decide to make a move? Yes, he does. He pokes to the inside, side by side for the lead.
We're seeing the benefits of the draft, the new tires, a restart at Las Vegas. We see a little bit of the push you can see come from the back, and Falkenham takes the lead once again. Remember, winner last week in round 1 of the qualifying series, now in the lead with 40 to go in the top split.
First lap led for your Daytona winner, Daniel Falkenham. We had highlighted him as one of the drivers who had lost a lot of spots early in the first half of this race, but time into the caution flag, maybe to his benefit. And now does he have a truck to go out and win it? They're 4 wide, back around P20, but up front, it's Falkenham clearing Navarro for the race lead. The battle is on for 3rd. It's Wyatt Tinsley outside of the 11 of Cody Johnson on the bottom. Book it for the 20 as he is to a race high position number 3 after starting way back in 32nd. Tinsley, Johnson, and Rondeletto all qualified outside of the top 30. They all run top 5 right now.
And Tinsley has a championship series win under his belt at Daytona. Again, not the same type of drafting, but you never know what type of skills can translate here. Wyatt Tinsley trying to climb his way back in to the championship series as we take a look further back, looking for Ray Alfalo, Garrett Lowe, and Matt Busso, who are trying to climb their way back from the back of this field.
And not just trying to climb their way back from the back of the field, trying to climb their way back into the championship series. These are guys that got demoted into this series, so they're trying to claw their way back into the championship series and have a chance to hoist the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Cup.
Yeah, I can't stress enough. If you're somebody who was relegated from the championship series, this is a huge, I don't want to call it culture shock, because under the old 3-tiered system, you would have done it at some point. But, if you were just trying to get to the series, these snake splits, these thousands of drivers, that's not new to you, right? You had to go through that to get to contender. But a couple years ago, if you dropped out of the championship series, you only had to race against 39 other guys. And it was a lot more controlled where P20, P25, that's an okay day if I'm trying to be top 20 here. You finish 25th in the top split, you're probably near 60th in the standings. It is harder for a relegated driver than it has ever been with that contender series taken out. And look at these drivers in the third split. Whoa! Plays in a huge moment and an even better save in turn 3. These third split drivers again know that they really need to be top 5 if they want to score adequate points, and that's why they have been so aggressive all night.
One of those drivers in the thick of all this is that 5 of Cabe McClenny. We talk about real-life drivers in Countdown to Green with Raja winning split number 4. Cabe McClenny is a late model driver out of the West Coast. Multiple wins out there at Kern County Raceway. So he's one of those drivers who's continuously trying to make his name here on the sim as we see him trying to make a pass for, what is that, 12? He's trying to crack his inside back to the top 10.
And Tyler Lateral, we mentioned it first time he checked in. He's been in a pretty controlling position in this third split through the caution flags. Again, we saw a lot more shuffling up in split 1 with the timing of the yellow. This group did not get to a green flag pit cycle, so outside of the drivers it evolved, most everybody has stayed on the same pit strategy. You got Dakota Long, we mentioned. That number 8 truck was up in second earlier, down a little bit, but in the number 5 spot, Jackson Crowder, somebody else who is no stranger to what was the Road to Pro ladder, is caution and an incident towards the back here in third split. Going to put them under at least what is, I think, a 4th caution flag. The night we jump back to top split coverage, it is still Daniel Falkingham, the leader, at 3 wide there. Scary moment for P15.
And still the fight remains further in the back. 3 wide, probably pushing the 4 wide. The laps are running out. 32 laps to go. We know the talent that is back there, how the field got jumbled because of that caution. So there are good trucks, good drivers with a lot of speed trying to make hay as they can, and it's leading to this racing in the back of the field right now.
Well, and you talk about scary moments and chaos, but it's all been happening around poor Quentin Warman. He was that driver that was sideways. He was also that driver that pounded the wall off of turn number 4. So poor Quentin Warman, I mean, props to him. He's a trooper. He's still in the fight. But man, if I'm him, I'm hoping for a lot calmer second half of this race.
That Hayek Chevrolet has been all over the place as we see more 3 wide behind him. The number 2 truck, the next driver, trying to get up to the outside. Meanwhile, on the bottom, it's Wembley, the trouble off at turn number 4. A touch there, and then they just could not get aligned. Charles Wembley, the 25, hard into the outside wall for yet another caution in split number 3. What that tells me, though, if pace can continue here in the top split, is we'll likely get a chance to take a look at both finishes, because these splits getting further and further apart. 4 yellows in split 3. So far, only 2 in the top. Is a couple of drivers again, same spot, turn 4, every split. That's the chaos corner so far tonight. It's corner exit.
Well, Chaos Corner, we were just talking about old Quentin Warman. He was sideways through turn 4. I mean, everything, we might as well just have a static camera on Quentin Warman at this point, because everything seems to be happening around him.
I'm liking the look of that 42 truck. He is looking for grooves. He is searching the racetrack and seems to be making ground on Daniel Falkingham as they come off 2 and gets a little bit of a run. And using all the momentum you're seeing. They're now dipping below that line. Look at how much he closes up as they get into turn 2. Turn 1 here, Navarro. I think he's got something for Falkingham.
Well, yeah, Alan, I agree with you. But also, if you're Daniel Falkingham, who's running that lower to middle lane right there, just kind of biding your time, how much of that is just like, hey, go ahead, catch up to me. I'll let you burn your right front off. I'll let you burn your right rear off. Go ahead, get up to me. I'll let you check out for a little bit, but don't worry, in about 10 laps, I'll see you.
And that's what I think about when it terms the experience. Daniel Falkingham has been in the championship series before. We know a lot of these names because of where they've come from and having been relegated. Some of the names chasing them have never had that top-tier experience. You wonder how much that factors in.
Well, Michael Cozy Jr., one of the Coca-Cola machines, you see his red number 3 machine is up to a race best P10, so he's taking advantage of the time into the yellow and has had a pretty good truck. We've seen him make forward progress throughout the 66, a little bit sideways off the corner. That was Blake Reynolds who lost some speed. And the number 29 machine to Kevin Champagne to the center, 3 wide, with the number 24 truck up to their outside. That was Caden Diedrich, who drops back in line, and they go back to 2x2. I've been keeping a half eye on this group. They have been using each other up. Ahead of them, Jacob Wilkerson was putting slide jobs on folks in the 43 truck. It is no holds bar. Inside of 30 laps to go in this race, these drivers are getting on it.
Yeah, and a big wiggle back there by Graham Boland, just getting loose off of turn number 4. And I can tell you guys, as someone who's raced here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in real life, I can promise you, turn number 4 is just as treacherous as these guys are making it look. As you see back there, Graham Boland getting real tight on the door there. So lots of tight racing. And we're on board here with Quentin Warman, one of those drivers we talked about, all the chaos happening right around him.
Champagne pulls in line behind Warman. That battle on the racetrack for 13th and 14th position here in split number 1. Back up to the front of the field where it's still Daniel Falkenham leading Andrew Navarro. Then it's Wyatt Tinsley in 3rd, side by side briefly for the number 4 spot. That's Matthew Morton ahead of Cody Johnson. Again, Johnson started 33rd, Morton 24th, Tinsley 32nd. I mean, these drivers have really taken advantage of the pace in this race. Now less than 24 laps to go in split number 1. Green flag back out, bottom of your screen in split number 3 as that race struggling to find a little bit of rhythm.
Well, and we talk a lot about Kenny Brady up here in split number 1, but down in split number 3, that's Max Brady in the number 17 machine there, trying to make a run at the second place spot right there. He'll take it on the top side. So the Brady brothers trying to make their presence known here tonight.
Side by side for the lead, top of your screen for split number 1. Andrew Navarro, Daniel Falkenham swapping paint into turn number 1. And it was a bit of a sneak attack for Navarro. Dove to the bottom, got the spot just like that. Put the number 42 truck back to the lead, but for how long? He'll rip the fence off of turn 4. Falkenham goes low. They'll meet on exit. The outside's going to have the speed. What does Tinsley do with a big run in the 20? That apron is fair game here in Las Vegas. He didn't use it that time. Instead gave a shove to Falkenham, as it'll be the shove to put the 39 in front. He can't clear. That 39's tail happy. Couldn't get it planted, and Navarro comes right back at him.
Yeah, you got to be a little worried if you're Navarro on the outside, but that's the groove that's working for him. You just don't want that tail happiness for Falkenham to take him out. Meanwhile, Wyatt Tinsley in the 20, it's like he gets to pick which lane, but both of them get blocked. He's got to find a way to get past at least one of them with another pusher right behind them. Good racing at the front.
Second look at split number 3 as they've had more trouble, and color me shocked. It's turn number 4, 3 wide gone awry. That was a hip check for the 5. The 29 gets involved. In the end, somehow only 3 or 4 trucks will get damage in that one, but same spot on track. 3 wide in the corner, they fan out, but as everybody washes up the hill, it can't work, and somehow that all ended up single file as they slotted in line. Matthew Morton in the center of the battle for 4th position on back.
And at least temporarily, Andrew Navarro has won this battle. Hasn't won the war yet, but Andrew Navarro getting out to a bit of a lead. It seems like the handling issues are just a handful for Falkenham as now Wyatt Tinsley gets by. We'll see what the former Coke Series Championship driver can do now that he's in second on the bottom of the racetrack, but still, one groove up closer to the wall. That seems to be working for the leader.
3 wide to the bottom, Cody Johnson, 2 tires in the grass as he came off of 4. Down to the bottom, 3 wide. It's Johnson. Then in the middle, Eddie Kerner, followed by Matthew Morton. But Kerner, the big winner, splits the gap. The 5 slides and showers sparks on the trucks behind him. Morton just cannot keep that truck under him. And whatever Eddie Kerner's doing is working. He's at a race high now. Call it P4.
And we had a couple trucks make contact further back. Lots of checkups happening back there. Don't know what's going on back there. It looks like Kevin Champagne may have been involved in that one.
Still under green despite those moments. We are now inside of 20 laps to go for the top split of the qualifying series from Las Vegas. We'll take a 2-box look with a replay on the bottom of what happened with that big moment while we watch this fight for 9th on the top of your screen. Looking for Champagne up top, then just got the left rear out of shape, and then a second touch. That's where the 29 got sideways. They keep it straight. We keep on going.
That was a fantastic save right there. I know the 29, he's probably not happy right there. Just a victim of circumstance, right? A lot of crazy dive bomb moves as we see the 43 make a huge lunge to the inside. He's going to take the spot. But Garrett Maines, he's another one of those guys who's really aggressive. And we're still talking about all the craziness happening further back. They're all going after it 3 wide further back. Brian Mercurio on the top trying to make something happen.
It is go time here in Vegas. This battle you're looking at there was for mid-20s, and there's trouble. Caution flag is in the air. One truck slow on the apron in turn number 1. Is that
Brady
where the trouble was? Yeah, Brady is slow. There is damage on the back of that truck. But I don't know if the caution came from Brady or not. We'll wait and get a replay lined up. In the meantime, let's jump into a 31 lap to go restart for split number 3. Front row, familiar look with the 27 truck leading the way. They've still got a third of the way to go. Again, race winner can score as best as top 15 points in the series. 3 wide already off of the stripe.
Great jump for the leader there, and quickly into 3 wide. That number 17, Jeremy Davis, trying to make something happen. If you're going to do it, it is on a restart like this. 30 to go is the time to try to see what you can do. Spread the field out and maybe get a few positions right off the first lap.
Yeah, and Tyler's just trying to play his cards right here, right? He's just trying to keep everything underneath him, keep the guys behind him, just make sure that everything is just working smooth. As we take a look at the replay here at top split, take a look what the yellow was for. Coming off of turn number 4.
Blake McCandless.
Blake just runs out of room, slides up the track, and gets himself turned around. It's just a product of that closing corner right there. It is so tight coming off the corner in turn number 4 there, and when you have 2 trucks fighting for the same spot, something's got to give.
It'll drop Blake to 32nd. We talked about how a rough night in Daytona did not set him up successfully in the points coming into this one. Again, 2 bad weeks to start the qualifying series. Not what McCandless wanted to see. Your leaders, by the way, pitting in the top split. As we thought maybe with the pit stop happening at halfway, everybody was going to be good. Is it a fuel or is it a tire decision? They've got at least 1 set left in the box. As we jump back to the live shots of split number 3, top 5 single file. As I say it, Dakota Long trying to work under Joe Armstrong, but the 22 truck I think pretty comfortable up on the outside, constantly getting the runs off of the corner.
And Dakota Long, he's being pretty aggressive right now as he lays the door to the 22 of Joe Armstrong getting into turn number 1. He actually makes the pass.
Top split, Sebastian Marin is your new race leader. A 2-tire call puts him to the top of the board. We'll let you know when they are coming back to the green. But meanwhile, split 3 side by side. It's the battle around that number 7 spot. Jackson Crowder in the 4. Outside, it's Colton Salick to his inside. They're 2x2. And then a battle behind them. You've got Levine, Bolton, Caleb Bryant, a couple of drivers we haven't talked about tonight. They're inside of the top 10. Despite some wrecks in this race, plenty of drivers still competitive. Close it in on 25 to go.
Another driver in this split that I'm keeping my eye on is Jaden Hopp up in the 5th position. And they're really trying to just really put themselves in position. I saw them run in the top lane, really carrying that momentum, and that's going to be one of the big things here as you see going into turn number 1, offsetting to the right, jumping to the right rear quarter panels. We have a big slide right there out of the 9. It's going to open the door for Caleb Bryant on the bottom.
just watching his eyes to see how much is he looking in the rear view or out front. I didn't see a ton of glances up, and I think it's just go, go, go. It's the best defense. Couple of trucks in the fence again. I thought the 9 might have been pushing up, but all is well for now for Justin Levine. But that poor wall in turn number 4 tonight is giving Darlington a run for its money.
Well, you mentioned Justin Levine in that 9 truck. He is dropping like a rock right now and continuously. And it looks like he's trying to bring everybody else with him. You know, he's sliding up from the bottom to the top. Right now, he's sort of got it figured out. But, man, lots of chaos happening through the field there.
3 wide, 3 rows deep, Allen. They're used in the apron. It's clear that these drivers are going to risk it all to try to get up inside of the top 10. Again, that battle right there around 12th position, not good enough in points. The battle for the lead is on as well. Max Brady to the top spot, and Tyler Latterell, who's been dominant, he now drops down to 4th, maybe worse. Late challenges for the All Black 27, who's on the bottom of the 3 wide. He'll single file out back into that 3rd spot in lane. Meanwhile, top split coming to a restart. 11 laps to go. Can Sebastian Marin hang on for the win?
We've seen leaders get big jumps on these restarts, so let's see what Marin can do with this. With just 11 to go, you said it was a 2-tire call. That means they've got a lot of reinforcements behind him, though. I want to see what Wyatt Tinsley does. Wyatt Tinsley was just in position to nearly take the lead, and now we have some of the drivers who, Falkingham, Navarro, all trying to chase down Sebastian Marin, who has spent time at the front of this field, but time is running out. There'll be 10 laps to go the next time they come around.
Oh, and they're 4 wide going down the front straightaway here. Quentin Warman trying to force the issue. Oh, my goodness, we have a wreck further back in the field.
Trouble for Eugene Mozganov is the caution flag, as we'll slow things down again. At the moment of yellow, they were 5 wide in that lead group, but Mozganov is where the challenges come from, and we'll wait to get a second look, but that car torn up on the front straightaway. It looked like there was also damage to Caden Diedrich, so at least 2 drivers involved in this one. As Ray Alfala, I saw through the grass, avoiding that one. He's been able to get some spots back, guys, but still 22nd position. Was just never able to recover after the ill timing of the caution flag earlier in this race.
And that caution's a big friend to Marin out front. If he's indeed on a tire deficit with others who did not take 2, took 4 to Marin's 2, these laps under caution will only benefit the leader at that tire deficit.
Well, we'll start with the second look at what put us under this most recent caution flag here in split number 1. It's Mozganov in the middle of your screen, and the 24 got in the fence first, and it started a chain reaction there. Mozganov got turned to the outside. 23 gets away with, I'd say, relatively little damage in the end, so it could have been worse for Matt Busa. And now in split number 3, trouble with Agnell Phillip as they come 3 wide. Not really door to door, just kind of staggered into the corner. A little bit of the left rear there. That's a big hit for a single car accident. Agnell Phillip's truck is destroyed.
Yeah, that is game over for Agnell Phillip. A hit like that in the wall, if it hasn't blown your motor, it's certainly going to take you completely out of contention there. But back to top split here. You know, if I'm any of these front 2 drivers, Sebastian Marin, Matthew Morton, I am quaking in my boots at the thought of Wyatt Tinsley behind me. Because Wyatt, having watched him race through the through the previous Contender Series and through the Championship Series, and now back in this series, he is one of the most aggressive drivers out there, but he makes it work. And Wyatt Tinsley now is all eyes focused, ready to make it happen. And look at the positions gained for Wyatt Tinsley. 29 positions gained for that number 20.
You have the drivers in the top 10. Only 3 of them started in the top 10. It's a lot of green on that board. And again, if you've got big movers, you got big losers. A couple of drivers, again, notable ones that just haven't got back up there. Alfala, we talked about, led 35 laps. He's stuck down in 21st position. We saw Matthew Boniface start up front in 3rd. He's 28th position. And then even more drivers. Kenny Brady, 31st. Michael Venables started 7th. He's down in 35th. We did talk about the tire disparity on strategy up front, and I do want to highlight that for a minute. Sebastian Barry and Matthew Ward on the front row, they decided to go, Morton I should say, with 2 tires. So that was their decision to get in and out of the pit lane quicker when they came down pit road the most recent time. Drivers behind them, though, took 4. There's 4 tires on Tinsley, Navarro, Falkingham, and Wilkerson. So, to Alan's point about the caution maybe being beneficial, Alan, it's Marin and Morton on the 2, and then it's Tinsley, Navarro, Falkingham, and Wilkerson on the 4. We'll see if those trucks with the extra 2 fresh tires can get the green flag laps needed to let those do some.
Yeah, you'd want a little more buffer. Really, if I'm Marin, I'm looking in my rear view right now at Wyatt Tinsley. Same thing in the upper row, looking at Navarro, what he's done tonight in Falkingham, all the laps that they've led, and the time those 3 trucks have spent at the front of this field. I'd be shaken a little bit. You hope this caution goes a little longer because you want as few laps as possible if you are on that front row with the 2 tires, because maybe the 3 best trucks, say for Ray Alfalo, who's further back in the field, the 3 best trucks are right behind you on a sprint of a restart with better tires.
Back green in split number 3, we will get you the finish of that one. Once split number 1 concludes, they still have 19 laps to go in that race. Top split going to be coming to a restart with 6 laps to go. Marin has led 11 laps. Morton's led none. They're both in the same boat, only 2 fresh tires, and on the front row for what could be the final restart of round 2 of the qualifying series. Marin started on pole. Can he get another good restart out of it? Green flag in the air. It's 6 laps to go. He's got the jump, but Morton, hot on his heels, tucks in line.
What a restart for those first 2. That's exactly what they needed to get as big of a lead as they can as possible. We know the draft, we know the pack is going to come on the backstretch in Las Vegas, but that was the perfect restart for that front row.
Look at the run that Daniel Falkingham has on the bottom. They were locked together through the exit of turn number 2, and as you see the field fan out 3 and 4 wide all throughout the pack.
Tinsley's the one who stepped to the line from 3rd. He goes to the inside of Morton, trying to make it side by side. Caution behind them. More trouble. The leader was Marin at the moment of yellow, and the spinner is Brian Mercurio, and Ray Alfala is also involved. After the night started so good for the 4-time champ, he has got a piece of an accident that also took out Brian Mercurio, and it looks like Justin Smith. 3 trucks involved.
You can only spend so much time in the back of a field. Even in top split, in a race like this, where you keep talking about being points racing, it's like points racing on steroids. So many of these positions mean so much more than just one position. And to be in the back of the field where things get desperate on these restarts, sprints to the end, it's going to get more and more volatile, and it finally bit Ray Alfala.
And it looks like Alfala's truck is heavily damaged. I saw the right front crinkled in, the right rear crinkled in. I mean, these trucks are so aerodynamically, they need everything. The right side is everything. And if that right front's kinked in, if that right rear is bent in, you're going to be out of luck.
Trouble with Leslie Parker in split number 3, 4 wide, not normally going to work out very well, and that 30 with a big, the 7 involved. It was kind of like a supersized version of what we just saw in the top split. Several drivers involved in that incident. Now let's watch what happened around Ray Alfala in split number 1. 78 is check it up. Alfala gets into him. That's where it falls apart. That's where the 41 gets in it. There's the big hit for Alfala also. And Mercurio, 2 or 3 big hits to the 41.
Ryan, you jump on the sim. You do this in real life. We are seeing more action, more cautions, more incidents at Las Vegas than we did last week in Daytona, of all places. Surprise to you?
It's not a surprise to me, Al. I mean, the big thing is obviously the draft. It plays such a big effect here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, but the momentum shifts, right? At Daytona, you're foot to the wood, right? Yeah, you're going to drag some brake hits, you're going to lift a little bit, but that's really it. You're not going to have such a crazy shift in momentum, especially when the walls basically come at you from nowhere, like the exit of turn number 4 here does, where it narrows up so much. And you saw it right there. The 78 just got loose. All he did was have a little wiggle, And that was enough to check him up so much that Alfala, who was one of the smartest, one of the most experienced drivers on the sim, could not avoid him. That is the difference of a track like Daytona versus racing these trucks here at Las Vegas.
Well, if the lights don't go out this time by, actually, I think already lap number 98, so we're going to overtime no matter what. So we'll talk you through the eNASCAR overtime procedure, in which we'll get a couple of cracks at this thing to finish this race under green flag conditions. It'll be a 2-lap attempt at the finish. So a green followed by the white and followed by the checkered flag. It's going to be obviously challenging for anybody back several rows to make some noise. So I think when you get down to this, a good restart going to do a lot for Marin, and then I think he's going to have to make that 23 machine very wide. If we get to the white flag, it's official. Doesn't matter what happens. If we don't, we can try it again. Third split back underway on the bottom, as we're 1 lap away from the green and top split. Let's jump in with split number 3. Santiago Tires, for the first time tonight, leads this race ahead of Max Brady and Tyler Latterell in second and third.
And Santiago Tires, he's one of those guys who has raced in the championship series as we have 3 wide action heading into turn number 1. Tyler Latterell diving to the bottom.
Old tires not working for Tires. The gamble's not going to pay off, and the dominant truck in Latterell goes back to the lead for how long? Brady to the outside, side by side for P1.
Oh, man. I don't know how long they're going to keep it green, though. We see a lot of leading as I say that they wreck off of turn number 2.
Oh. Not long. Spinner. Is there going to be a caution flag? I think the leader is still under green. Diddle of the trucks in the rearview mirror. Keep them pointed forward. We stay green for now. Brady around the outside is your new race leader in split 3. Dakota Long to second. Latterell, so good for so long, slips to third. And now Joe Armstrong to the inside. Huge block by Long off of turn number 2. We'll follow that one to the end in a moment, but first it's attempt number 1 of 3. It's eNASCAR overtime in Las Vegas.
Another perfect restart for Marin. The best friend he had was Morton coming down and getting right behind him. Something of a blockade for all those fresh tires behind him. We see what happens on the backstretch here going into turn 3. What can Wyatt Tinsley and crew do with it?
Well, and if you're Matthew Morton, you're trying your hardest to push Marin out front. You're trying to build a big gap for yourself and the leader, but with Wyatt Tinsley breathing down your neck, you're not going to have much chance. Here comes Daniel Falkingham, last week's winner, to try and make a challenge.
Tinsley and Falkingham leaning on each other in the battle for third. A white flag in the air. This race is official. Where does Matthew Morton go? He'll stay in line for the moment.
Matthew Morton's going to have the run off of turn number 4 here. He's got Wyatt Tinsley to his tail. They're going to get a big shot down in there. Are they going to have, is he going to have the run? He's going to make the move to the top side.
Looks to the outside, got a little bit loose. 3 wide. Eddie Kerner joins in. The battle's going to be for second on back as it's up front. Sebastian Marin shuts the door. Race winner in Las Vegas. Marin over Tinsley and Kerner in the top split. And your Daytona winner, Falkingham P6, continues a hot start to the qualifying series. What a thrilling overtime finish in split number 1 as it goes the way of Sebastian Marin.
What an impressive win for Marin there. We saw him earlier in this race, clutch and coasting the old school way, using the keyboard to shut the truck off. So impressive to see what he's been able to do and get himself a win here in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola qualifying series.
It's impressive stuff for him, and now we'll jump back to split number 3 under the caution flag. This one has had a lot more incidents than what we were following along in split number 1, but Alan, the racing didn't feel much different. I felt like both were equally as aggressive. This group just hasn't gotten away with it as many times. We saw a bit of a gamble with Santi Tires, who tried to stay out in some old tires. He got swallowed up pretty quickly, and the usual suspects thus far in this race up front, but Latterell struggled on the bit of that last green flag run that we saw, slip back to P4, and Max Brady now, the guy in the hot seat.
Yeah, and it's been fun to see the players at the front of these races showing their strengths, right? Especially as the laps wind down. Latterell, that last run, the handling seemed to be going away. Maybe they cool it down a little bit. He gets another shot at this restart, but Brady was just so strong on the outside on that last run. If it's going to be a series of sprints, it seems like Brady's got some strength there. But if they can go green, I want to see if Latterell can kind of harness it back and get that 27 truck up there once again.
See if the lights go out on top of the pace car this time by. They are still well outside of the overtime procedure that we saw in split number 1. So as the wave rounds go on through, and at least one more trip around with the lights on top of the pace car before we get back underway here in split number 3. Again, we talked about the importance of being successful in these other splits. Yes, the lion's share of the points are available to those who are competing in the top split. But if you look at last week's results, your split 3 top 4 finishers scored the 9th, 12th, 16th, and 20th most points out of anybody, respectively. So, yeah, P10 in this ain't going to pay like a P10 in the top split, but Max Brady could have just as good, if not a better night than the Ray Alfalos of the world, Ryan, who we spent a ton of time talking about in split number 1.
Yeah, and that's one of the most unique things about the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing qualifying series is that we have so many splits happening at once that we're only able to pay attention to 2. We got top split and third split. There is a second split between those, and there's another dozen. I'm just getting word from producer Drew. There are 23 splits happening right now.
Can we get a 23 splits. Box? Can we do that? I just want to see all 23.
Come on, Drew.
Yeah, right? I'm sure our lovely team at iRacing HQ can whip that up in no time. But nonetheless, it's crazy to think about just how many drivers are receiving points for the same championship. That's the thing. All these points add up. It's not separate points for each race. They all add up in the same, and they all carry their own weight.
And there's little nuances that we'll see as the lights are out, and we'll get set for restart here in split number 3, Alad. We talk about Michael Cozy Jr. We saw him in split number 2 last week. Tonight he was in top split. Less drivers competing this week. We will see less drivers compete each week as drivers are mathematically eliminated. So one week you may be one of the higher-seeded drivers in split 2, and then the next week you may be one of the lower-seeded drivers in the next split up or wherever. So for the most part, when we cover top split, we'll see the same faces. But when you get into split 2, 3, 4, and so on, the lineup's going to change a little bit each week. The consequences are going to be a little bit different. You may want to be one of the higher-ranked guys in split 4 than one of the lower in split 3 based on how it plays out. But that's not something you know until you grid up for the race moments before you go green.
And that's a perfect way to explain it. The better you do, almost the harder it gets, because if you suddenly find yourself in that top split with bigger and better competition, that's what you want ultimately, but it's going to affect your points and your ability to score points. So the better you do in these splits, the harder the climb gets. That's what I love about this process this season in the qualifying series, ultimately trying to get to the championship series as we get set to go green here in the third split.
Coming to a restart with 6 laps to go in split number 3 here in Las Vegas. Max Brady, control truck on the inside, takes the green flag, off and away, gets a truck length's worth of an advantage. It's Joe Armstrong in the 22, pushed by Justin Bolton, trying to get the number 2 spot away. He's got it in turn 1.
Bolton is glued to the back bumper of Joe Armstrong. Joe Armstrong clears to the top side. He saw a gap. He took it. And here comes Armstrong to the bottom.
Jumped up to get a push. Now dives down to the inside. Armstrong looking for the top spot. Too wide for several rows behind them. He's got it as Joe Armstrong takes P1.
Oh, Brady kisses the wall trying to get back there.
Oh, 4 wide and a spinner. Trouble for the 16. No, it's a caution again. And this will push us to the precipice of overtime in a second split of coverage. They were 4 wide. And again, you just can't get away with that when it is all take and no give. And the timing of this yellow, huge. If you're in the Joe Armstrong camp, because you just took over the lead. Kenny Brady all over the bumper, looking to make a challenge back for P1. He'll stay the leader as we go down to the very end. Let's take a look at your Coca-Cola move of the race. It comes in our top split. This winning moment is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official fan refreshment of eNASCAR. Sebastian Marin is a top split winner in this 2026 eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing qualifying series. And the move of the race, late race restart, the 23 truck playing defense up at the front of the field. The driver hot on his heels was the number 5 machine of Matthew Morton.
And I'm just so impressed by Marin here, being able to keep these guys behind him. I thought he was a sit and duck, Alan, but sure enough, he was able to hold them all off and get the win.
I mean, some of the best throughout the night. Former Coke Series championship drivers on his tail, and he executes 2 perfect restarts at the end with a tire deficit, mind you, and gets a huge win for him tonight.
Started on pole, finishes in the number 1 position, but that does not tell the story for the driver of that number 23 machine. It was quite a night for Sebastian Marin, but the driver who is ranked as that top-seeded driver in this was able to control from the restart, never looked back. There were challenges from Kinsley, from Kerner, from Morton, Navarro, the rest of the trucks inside of the top 5, 3 wide across the stripe for third. But in the end, Sebastian Marin stands alone as your top points scorer here in week number 2. Now back to third split action. We will see if the lights go out on top of the pace car. I believe, though, this race is also going to go into eNASCAR overtime. Reminder, you see it on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, to join us next week for round number 3 of this qualifying series as we head to the Rockingham Speedway. 200 laps of action there due up. Ooh. That's next Tuesday, February 24th. There's nothing that I can possibly say to sell that other than just saying it's the trucks at the Rock.
It's trucks at the Rock for 200 laparoonies. You can't go wrong with that. I know Blake McCandless is licking his chops right now because that is his favorite track on the service, Alan.
And he's going to need it, right? I mean, the way they're running now, he didn't have the best Daytona, but he's been in these top splits, so we know he's got the talent and prowess to do it. Going to his favorite track, a guy like Blake, who's going to have to climb that ladder and come up with something over these next 7-8 races. That's an opportunity race for some.
And tomorrow it is the continuation of the Great Lakes Gauntlet, which you saw last Wednesday here. It is week number 2 for the semifinals and final rounds of the eNASCAR College iRacing Series. 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night right here on the iRacing Esports Network. We will see you from Michigan International Speedway for week 2 of the Great Lakes Gauntlet as the eNASCAR College iRacing Series back in class for the spring semester. So we are indeed headed to eNASCAR overtime. The rules are the same as what we described earlier for the drivers in the top split. We'll take a 2-lap to go restart, and if we make it one way around all the way to the white flag, it does not matter what happens. This race is official, and we'll race to the checker. If we do not, we'll throw the caution, we'll line them back up and try again. There are a maximum of 3 attempts at eNASCAR overtime. So front row, lined up side by side, is the 22 machine in the catbird seat, going to get the restart that Joe Armstrong needs to try to hang on and steal this one. Brady, Latterell, Long, Cooper in the top 5. Green flag, it's overtime in split 3.
Aggression from Max Brady right away, and we see it back from Latterell, 2 of the best tonight as they're trying to chase down Joe Armstrong. That's what he wants to see, those 2 banging on each other so he can drive away.
And we saw what Joe Armstrong did when he was playing offense. Now he's got to play defense from the bottom to the top. He blocks Max Brady going into turn number 1, and now he's going to try and hold off Latterell.
3 by 3, 6th on back, contact in the fight for 4th, but Joe Armstrong is going to get there. White flag, 1 lap to go in Las Vegas. Brady pulls in line 2nd. Dakota Long and Latterell going to fight for 3rd. Do they become a factor in this one, or are they going to take each other out of it? slow on the exit. Brady, not the run that he needs. Armstrong, shields low. Where do they go? Brady crosses to the inside. Armstrong shuts the door on the bottom. Is he home free off of 4? Yes, he is. Joe Armstrong, clutch in the closing moments to win split 3 as they wreck behind him.
2 great overtime performances from the leader, who looked like they were at a deficit, with great trucks, great talent behind them, hanging on to get wins in their respective splits, going a long way toward making the championship series.
And we saw it right there. This race at an intermediate track, talking about drafting, talking momentum, it came down to a short track move. We saw nearly a bump and run right there, but Joe Armstrong able to hold onto it and get the win. Impressive stuff.
Joe Armstrong grew up watching NR 2003 collaborations online and now calls himself a race winner in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing qualifying series. This winning moment is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official fan refreshment of eNASCAR. He said it coming into the season, Vegas and Michigan, the 2 tracks that he was the most looking forward to. Well, he cashes in the desert with a race win. Great moment there for the junior at Virginia Commonwealth University. And I'm sure if he's streaming on Twitch tonight, his chat's enjoying that one. Congrats to Joe Armstrong with a big win here in split number 3. And slowly but surely, those, 23 different splits that we had, 27 splits, whatever the number was, they're going to slowly start to have the checkered flags wave all across them, and we'll see a new landscape amongst your qualifying series points. 2 weeks down, 9 weeks still to go. And if you're a fan of the trucks, we're already halfway through the weeks of the truck, so you want to get those opportunities while you can. Now, why not some more bonus action? We are back in split number 2 because they have also had their fair share of incidents in this one, and we will have another late race restart. Are we going 3 for 3, though, is my question on overtime? We'll wait for the timing and scoring to pop in.
Let's hope. Only because, this is why we wanted to give you more racing, a new format, better format, more on the line this year here in the Coke Series with the qualifying series, trying to climb the ladder to the championship series. Guys, we promised more drivers, more racing. Now we're giving you more overtime. We are delivering.
Well, I wonder what the lines were in Vegas for the top 3 splits to all go to overtime. Wave round's going to go on through. The field going to be in the hands of the number 1 machine. And again, just to state how important points are, even outside of split number 1, your split 2 winner last week, Wyatt Gray, 4th in the points. So he outscored 33 of the drivers in split number 1. So you have plenty of opportunity to score some critical points right here.
Yeah, if you're in this top 6, 7, 8 trucks here, you're going to be one of those guys that has now snuck your way into that points mix, in my opinion. That's going to be a huge points payout here if you leave here with a clean truck and a good result.
I'll let our producers confirm, but during the countdown to green, we showed you O'Reilly Series driver Raja Karuth won his split last week. Was he in this race, guys? I multitasked. He says on Twitter he jumped back in the series tonight. I'm not sure what split he was in, but he said he got wrecked. So it would make sense if he was in one of these top splits after the win last week. But a lot of eyes on this series. A lot of eyes on this series. You can see
some of the names at the back out of this one. Brandon Cattell, somebody who's been at the top level. But right now, it's going to be Rick English and Ricky Heinen on the front row. Treppa, West, McCoy with Palladino, Dart, Compinger, Nava, and Drake inside of the top 10. Green flag in the air. Let's do it again. 2 laps to go in Las Vegas. English clear for the lead. Treppa and McCoy going to line them up at the Ricky behind. Caution will fly, and we will go 3 for 3. And go to eNASCAR overtime.
Man, and I don't know what happened with the outside lane with Ricky in the number 6 truck. It looked like he just had a really tough time getting rolling. I don't know what happened there.
You saw they fanned out. Whoever did not get the good start, instead of anybody offering to lend a helping hand, they all simply just tried to go around him, and that's what put him 4 or 5 wide in the center of the corner. Also, an update, this is split number 4, but the point still stands on a finishing order. I'll use the same number. Raja Karuth, split 4 winner last week, scored the 14th most points out of anybody in the field. So that would give him about more points than 22 of the drivers who competed in the top split. So still a critical position to be in. And now that number 1 truck's going to have to sit and think about this one, is they'll have to slow it around and pace for a few laps.
Well, and a reminder to the viewers here, obviously with the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing qualifying series, we talk about splits. These races are official. These lineups, these I wouldn't say lineups, but the entries in each race are based upon your iRating. So as we go lower in the splits, the lower the iRating is, but the same rules apply. If you win this split, we may see you in split 3 next week, or you may just still be right here in split number 4. It really depends on that iRating.
We talk about Edward Sanchez, mentioned him earlier as one of the drivers in the top 10. He's one of the drivers competing in the eNASCAR College iRacing series that we just referenced a little bit ago, where he's going to be competing next week for round number 2 of the battle at Michigan International Speedway. So a little bit of double duty for him. Again, a lot of names that you might recognize from iRacing special events, from maybe the old Road to Pro ladder. Mixed throughout this one. Trepa, one that jumps out. Cole does a lot of the open stuff as well here on. Also, some breaking news. Split number 2. Hocevar is your winner in split number 2. So we talk about some familiar names. How about that showing for a driver who was, I think, busy over the weekend, but found some time here on Tuesday?
Carson Hocevar dang near won the Daytona 500. Had him and his teammate in Real World Spire lined up. One of them should have probably won the thing. A split 2 victory in the in the qualifying series. Won't quite make up for it, Ryan, but a win nonetheless. But he came close to a Daytona 500.
Hey, look, there's so many times where on the sim I've won a race and celebrated like I won one of the real races. So you know what? If this is the medicine for Carson Hocevar to get over that finish of the Daytona 500, so be it. Congratulations to him winning split 2. That goes to show how highly ranked Carson Hocevar, one of our NASCAR Cup Series drivers, is here on the iRacing service.
He participates in a ton of stuff. We've seen NASCAR Cup Series drivers actually compete in the championship series in the past. Of course, the notable one everybody brings up, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Won the first ever race some 17 years ago. Timmy Hill competed in the series full-time for a number of years back, about a decade or so ago, but we've seen a lot of crossover between the real world and the sim talent, and congrats to Carson Hocevar, who wins split number 2. We've already seen Sebastian Marin win split number 1. Just a few minutes ago, we saw the conclusion of split number 3. And here we go. It is attempt number 1 of 3 at eNASCAR overtime in split number 4. Rick English in the number 1 truck. Going to decide when this race restarts as he looks for the restart box off of turn number 4, hoping that J.J. McCoy and the 8 machine can give him a good push. Green flag in the air, and a couple rows back. The inside did not get going at all, but English, truck length and a half advantage through the gears.
And that stack's going to bring out the yellow, obviously, somewhere further back. That checkup, a lot of trucks probably getting into each other back there. As we see the field pretty thinned out further back. This was a big one, fellas.
It was the 4th car in line, Alan. I saw, I think, on the bottom. I don't know if it was a miss shift or just completely mistimed it, but fell out of the picture that quickly, and you have to assume the accordion effect from whatever happened there led to the yellow.
That's the question, the fortune or misfortune of these multiple restarts. At the end, if you execute perfectly, you go on to win, or it gives you the opportunity to perhaps make a mistake or be behind someone making a mistake. The more we see with these restarts, the more volatile it can be, especially back in the pack. And again, every one of these positions just so important in terms of the splits for next week and your path to the championship series. Tough position for these on each one of these restarts.
We'll take a look at some results as they pace under the caution flag here in split number 4 of this second round on the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing qualifying series. Take a look at the results from top split, which we followed through its entirety. We just mentioned it. Sebastian Barron is a top split winner, leading 19 laps on the way to victory lane. Wyatt Tinsley, Eddie Kerner, Matthew Morton, and Andrew Navarro come home inside of the top 5, and the hot start continued for default. Daniel Falkingham in the number 6 spot. Continues a good start to the year, follows up a race win with a P6. He's ahead of Sean Conklin, Garrett Maines, Quinton Warman, and Jacob Wilkerson, your top 10.
Finishing 11th in the top split as we move the page on to and look through the rest of the field. We know there were some big names in this field. Cody Bias in 11th, Michael Frisch, Cody Johnson, Blake Reynolds, Michael Cozy coming in 15th, Octavio Rondoletto, Graham Boland, Garrett Lowe, John Forbes, and Matt Busa rounding out the top 20. Sort of surprising for such a veteran driver.
He had moments tonight. He'll finish ahead of Kevin Champagne, 21st. Tyler Gary, Matthew Boniface. Blake McCandless had an accident, 24th. Same with Larry Payson, 25th. Everybody here at some point had trouble. Mercurio, of course, Alfalo, the notable one. 35 laps led was the most out of anybody. He only is rewarded with a P27. Mazganov, Pfeffer, and Smith, the top 30.
31st and rounding out the final page here, Kenny Brady, who showed some prowess up front, Adam Garza, Matthew Badby, Caden Dietrich, Rocky Boy III, and Michael Venable rounding out the field in 36. 12 laps down for the top split finish.
And so looks out the bottom at your Coca-Cola full race results in split number 1 of this second week on this championship. And let's progress into post-race coverage, and let's get a word with your race winner in split number 1, Alan.
Yeah, the big winner, Sebastian Marin, doing it from Puerto Rico, having to do it to execute 2 perfect restarts with a tire deficit. What worries did you have as this race went on and you had to do it on those restarts?
Well, to be honest, there at the end, my only worry was going green enough, or long enough green, where the 4 tires would overcome the 2 tires. Because I knew, coming to the end of the race, track position was going to be key, especially being how on throttle you are and how strong the side draft is. It was just going to be very hard to pass. So we just had the perfect amount of laps going green there, and had my teammate up there that really, really benefited us, because I knew he wasn't going to put any pressure on me. We were just going to do the best that we could to hold on to the spots. And obviously got a little unlucky with the yellow coming out during green flag pit stops, kind of sent us to the back. Got a little lucky with all the trucks that were involved, restarted mid-pack, and then had to work my way through there. And overall, just a good race. I couldn't be any prouder of all the guys over at Nexus for bringing such an amazing piece to the track. So it was a good night.
You got into this to race with some of the best oval sim racers out there. They were the ones trying to chase you down tonight. What'd you learn about yourself and what you're capable of?
I think mainly is knowing that I can perform at these high tense situations. I was kind of doubting myself if I would end up being over aggressive, which I think I was at some points during the race, and I had my crew chief Connor Urashak keep me nice and calm, so appreciate that. But this was a big learning curve, big confidence boost that I can do this, that I belong here, and hopefully we can just keep this good momentum through the rest of the series.
Yeah, good luck on your climb to the championship series. Took a big step tonight. Congrats, Sebastian.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to the Nexus guys, Juicy Spider for jumping on board for me for this series. And shout out to my mom, who I believe is watching. She's been going through some health stuff. And I know she's very happy, me doing doing what I love. So thank you to her. And just an awesome night.
Awesome to hear from the winner. And we have Wyatt Tinsley, second place finisher. Wyatt, look, we talked about you all night. You were the aggressor in a lot of situations, coming all the way from the back in P32. Tell us about your truck. Tell us about your night. What did it take to get to the front of this field?
I had to miss that big wreck that was at the pit stop there. I got to give a big shout out to Benjamin White, man. He spotted me like perfectly through that wreck, and I just made it through that wreck barely. But yeah, truck was on rails thanks to Jarrett Liebert and everyone at North Force / EPI. They had an insane truck today. I feel like I could work anywhere. Yeah, I had a lot of fun coming from the back. Fuel mileage was the name of the game, I would say. And then I guess after lap 20, everyone started saving fuel. So that was definitely a good thing that we enjoyed. Race was a lot of fun. I just wish we had a little bit less caution. I think I definitely could have got Andrew there on that long run and maybe potentially won the race. But nevertheless, I'll take a P2 for sure. Yeah, points. We got, I think, 10 more races left or 9 more races left. Points is going to be what's going to make it. So it's all the name of the game.
Absolutely. Points. Wyatt Tinsley, thank you again for taking the time to chat with us, and good luck next week. And now we're going to transition to Eddie Kerner. Eddie Ball, man, we didn't talk about you much tonight. You were kind of quiet in this race, but coming out of here with a P3 finish, you came from the mid-pack, 17th, but found yourself in the right place at the right time. How do you think this helps you moving forward into getting back into the championship series, and what is your mindset heading into these next couple races?
The mindset's just still point race, take it easy. The race today was that. The first run I was kind of fuel saving a lot and just I hung out. We were going to go a couple extra laps than the leaders there, so we would have cycled if that went green the whole way back to the front. And same thing on that second long run. If it would have stayed green, it was coming right back up. But that's the kind of the name of this. Just be quiet and mind your own business. Watch your P's and Q's, and you'll kind of move forward and advance.
Awesome. Well, Eddie, thank you once again for taking the time to chat. Congratulations on a top 3 performance here tonight.
Thanks.
And we'll check out some of our finishers from Split 2. Nate Stewart joining us now. P4, tough to fight for tonight. I know you're trying to climb and get to the championship series. How do you describe your night? We saw a lot of volatility over a bunch of races. How was your race tonight, Nate?
It was pretty up and down, honestly. I qualified mid-pack and then tried to fight my way back up to the top 10, which I ended up doing, and then had a caution right at the end of pit cycles, which put me mid-pack, had to take the wave, and then after that, pretty straightforward, just trying to deal with the aero, which they updated the truck, and I still haven't gotten completely used to it, so getting tight, getting loose, dealing with all the aero grief and all that. And then after that, we had another caution and then a couple really big front stretch melees. And then after that, it was just sit in the top 5 with our Misadventure Life Jim Beaver Esports F-150. And I brought it home 4th. Carson Hostvar decided to race for some reason. And he won. Good for him. But yeah, that was certainly a race of all time. And, it was decently fun. I'm not going to say I didn't have fun tonight.
Hey, fun's important, and it may only get harder. Maybe you're in top split next week after a good run tonight. We shall see. Congrats, Nate Stewart. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate it. See you next week.
A lot of victories and good points days all around. Consistency is important. Alan, we teased this earlier, but we do it again next week. That might be my favorite thing of this format. There is no 2-week wait. We're right back at it. The truck portion of this qualifying series continues with round number 3 at the virtual Rockingham Speedway, 200 laps next Tuesday at 8. And also, if you don't want to wait 7 days, well, the eNASCAR calendar continues to roll on. It is week number 2 of the Great Lakes Gauntlet at Michigan International Speedway. If you joined us for 4.5 hours this past week, it was a thriller ride. I see you rubbing your hands. You're excited.
Oh, I'm excited, man. It's the trucks at Michigan. If you thought this race was crazy, if you thought there was a ton of action here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, I promise you, with the runs in the draft and all the chaos that happens at Michigan, we are in for an absolute treat.
If you're a fan of collegiate sport rivalries, Alan, this is that, but at about 180, 190 miles an hour.
I love it. I love the schemes. I love the college pride. Great night all around. Great racing all week, all time on the series.
And we hope you join us tomorrow night and when we do this again next Tuesday. But until then, that is it for us here tonight from Las Vegas. On behalf of our entire team at iRacing, eNASCAR, and your broadcast crew, for James Pike, Ryan Vargas, Alan Cavana, and myself, Evan Pasoka, want to say thanks for tuning in and congratulations to top split winner Sebastian Marin. The qualifying series rolls on next week with round number 3 at iRacing's virtual Rockingham Speedway. That race and every race of the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing qualifying series can be found right here on the iRacing Esports Network and streaming live on eNASCAR.com. Until then, good night from a wild one in Las Vegas.